Today, I want to ask a question. Unfortunately, it is a question for which I have no answer. Shalom, my friends. Yes, I'm feeling like I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place. I'm struggling with a question that I cannot ignore, yet it's a question that I know I cannot answer, at least not in this lifetime. I intentionally used the expression between a rock and a hard place because my struggle is a theological struggle. So what does that have to do with the expression? The rock is one of the ways the Bible refers to God. The Hebrew word for rock is tzur, and God is referred to as Hatzur, the rock, or Tzur Yisrael, the rock of Israel. God is central to the question with which I'm struggling, as is the little girl I spoke about in last week's video. If you didn't see it, I'll try to remember to leave a link to it in the description box. And if you are logged into YouTube, an icon will appear at the end of this video that will take you to last week's episode. For those who did not see it, a very brief summation is that there was a terrible accident, a car accident in my community, in which the driver was killed, but a 4-year-old girl survived in the back seat. I spoke in that video about whether her survival was literally miraculous. Since then, everything has gone incredibly well for her. She went through surgeries, her life hung in the balance, and now she's almost ready to be discharged from the hospital. And more incredible things have happened regarding her future. Because of one of her surgeries, she is in a halo, and at first she needed help going from lying down to sitting up, until one day she just sat up under her own power and lit up the room with her smile. Is she not adorable? I don't want to mention her name for obvious reasons, but please do keep this little one in your prayers. You don't need to mention her name. God will know about whom you are praying for healing. As a man of faith, I look at everything that has transpired since the accident, and I see miracles happening one after the next. There are so many moving parts, so many pieces to a very complex puzzle, and they're all falling into place. I'm full of gratitude. Gratitude for the amazing community that I live in, which has come together to help this little one in many extraordinary ways. And yes, gratitude to God. And therein, my friends, lies the problem. So many things had to go exactly right for this little one to survive, and they did. Some of them were things that were done by human hands, which presents no theological problem at all. As President Kennedy concluded his inaugural address, "Here on earth, God's work must truly be our own. One of the ways miracles happen is through human hands. But others are far more challenging to understand or explain." That being the case, and given that I am a man of faith, why not just say miracles are happening and call it a day? And the answer is that there are so many examples of other cases in which things did not fall into place. They did not go well. Why not? I don't believe that God picks and chooses which children to help and which not to help. At the same time, I do not believe in what is sometimes called the watchmaker argument, That's an argument that says, for example, the existence of my Apple Watch proves that Apple exists. At the same time, it's clear that Apple does not love my watch, knows nothing about my particular watch, and is certainly not a source of moral teaching for it. Similarly, the watchmaker argument says that the existence of the universe proves that there was a creator, but all that creator did was create the universe and then has nothing more to do with it. And I do believe God has an influential role in our lives. So why do we look at one set of circumstances and see miracles, and look at others in which there were clearly no miraculous intervention when children do die or sustain severe injuries that will affect the rest of their lives? Oddly enough, perhaps one lesson that emerges from this video is the fact that even ordained clergy still struggle with theological questions. I can't speak for anyone but myself, but if you think that I have worked out reasonable answers to all my religious questions and struggles, let me tell you it's not the case. If you struggle with questions like the one I'm posing today, you are not alone. I wish I could solve this problem for you. But as I said at the outset, this question is one that I will never be able to answer definitively in this lifetime. But I believe there is value in the struggle itself, in taking questions like these seriously. And I invite you to join me in grappling with this issue. You see, although the Rabbi's study exists to confront the ultimate issues of life, it doesn't mean I will always have a perfect answer for every question. Do you have any thoughts on this question? If you do, I hope you will share them in the comments box. As you saw at the beginning of the video, the Rabbi's study welcomed a new patron this week. Patrons support our efforts with a donation of as little as $3 a month. If you would like to do so yourself, please use the link to patreon.com in the description box. Thank you so much to all of our patrons. There are other ways to support us as well. First of all, if you found this video worthwhile, it helps us if you give it a thumbs up on YouTube. Also, subscribing to the channel at no cost helps put our videos in front of more viewers. You do have to be logged into YouTube to subscribe, but as long as you are, subscribe by clicking on my face right over here. You can also watch that last video I mentioned from last week by clicking on its icon right over there. As ever, until next time, Shabbat Shalom.